Hi, I'm going to read a story today called The Princess and the Warrior. It's written by Duncan Tana Chiu. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. And it's a story, a legend about two volcanoes that are near Mexico City in the country of Mexico. One of the mountains is called Iztaccíhuatl. The other one is called Popocatépetl. Popocatépetl. I would love it if you can go online and see pictures of them, even on Google Earth. And I'll attach some activities in Seesaw for how to find those two mountains. One is a volcano, one is a dormant volcano. And see where this legend comes from. A lot of the words are written in Spanish, and it's actually an ancient form of Spanish before, it's called pre-colonial, before the Europeans came to Mexico. There was a different language. And so a lot of those, in the back of this book, there's a glossary. I'll zoom in for you. I will be referring to that a lot because some of these words I can't pronounce. Once upon a time, there lived a kind and beautiful princess named Izta. Even though she was the daughter of an emperor, she loved to spend time with people who grew corn in the milpas. She liked to teach them poetry or floricanto. Suitors traveled from distant lands to woo her. They presented her with rare and lavish gifts, such as quetzal feathers and turquoise necklaces. They would say all the same thing. You are the most beautiful maiden in the land. Marry me, princess, and you will live in my luxurious palace. You won't have to spend time in the fields ever again. No, thank you, Izta would reply. She was not interested in any of the suitors or their gifts. One day, a warrior named Popoca came to see her. Princess, I know you have a kind and beautiful heart, for I have seen you teaching floricanto, remember that's poetry, to the villagers in the milpas. Remember, milpas are fields where they can grow many different crops at the same time, often corn and squash and beans in the same crop. That's a milpa. I don't have expensive gifts to offer, but if you marry me, I promise I will love you for who you are. I'll stay by your side no matter what. As long as Tonatiuh rises, as long as the Senzali bird sings. Popoca's words were music to Izta's ears. She could hear the honesty in his voice, and she fell in love with him. The emperor did not want his daughter to marry a mere soldier. He wanted her to marry a wealthy and powerful Tlatoani, a ruler. But he knew that Popoca was the best and bravest warrior in his kingdom. The emperor and his people had been at war with Jaguar Claw, the Tlatoani, that's a king or a ruler of a neighboring land for years, and there seemed to be no end in sight. He called Popoca to him. Popoca, the ruler said, if you defeat Jaguar Claw once and for all, I will let you marry my daughter Izta. Popoca and Izta were overjoyed. Popoca gathered his most courageous men and marched to war. Popoca fought numerous battles. He and his men were injured and almost defeated many times. But when the end seemed near, Popoca would always think of Izta, waiting for his return. He would defend himself with his chimali. That is a shield, chimali. Attack with his makuhahuto. That is this little, it's not little, it's huge. A weapon with little blades along the edge on both sides. And he would inspire his men to fight with even more courage than before. Slowly the tide turned, and Popoca and his men began winning battles. It was clear they would soon defeat Jaguar Claw. Realizing this, Jaguar Claw devised a plan to steal from Popoka what the warrior cherished most. He bribed one of Popoka's personal messengers. He said, "Tell Ista that Popoka has been killed and offer her this potion to soothe her grief." "Everything is lost, princess," the messenger said sadly when he arrived at the palace. "Popoka and his men fought bravely, but they were defeated and killed." "No, that cannot be," cried Ista. She locked herself in her chamber and wept and refused to eat or speak with anyone. That night, the messenger came to her room. "I know your heart is shattered, as if it were made of obsidian glass," he said. "But take this drink, princess. It will help ease your grief." Ista took the potion and drank it all, lying down in her pitlatel. That's that mat. And she fell into a deep sleep. The next day, before night fell, and the first Sitali appeared in the sky, Popoka defeated Jaguar Claw. Unaware of the lies the messenger had told, the great warrior and his troops marched back to the palace in triumph, ready to share the good news with the princess and the emperor. But when they arrived, they were met with disbelief. "Popoka," said the emperor, "one of your messengers told us you were dead." Ista was heartbroken. She took a special octli to ease her pain, and now we cannot wake her. "This can't be true," said Popoka. "Ista, my beautiful princess, has to awaken." He ran to her chamber. He kissed her and held her in his arms. He called out her name over and over, but Ista did not wake up. "Cool air will surely revive her," Popoka told the emperor. He carried Ista through the throngs of villages who wept as they passed the milpas, and all through the night to the top of the Tepatl. That's a mountain. He laid her on I have to look up this word because it's very hard to pronounce. Sachital. Sachital is this bed of flowers. Sachital. He laid her on a sachital bed. He knelt down beside her. The cool mountain air soon turned to snow, but still the princess did not wake up. Popoka refused to move. He stayed next to Ista, just as he had promised when he first met her. As long as the Tonatiuh rises, as long as the Sentali bird sings. Did I miss a page? No. In time, where once there was a princess with her true love by her side, two volcanoes emerged. One is known as, I have to look it up, Iztaccíhuatl, or Sleeping Woman. The other is known as Popocatépetl, or Smoky Mountain. This one continues to sleep. Popocatépetl spews ashes and smoke from time to time, as if attempting to wake his sleeping princess. That is the end. Today in Seesaw, I'm going to ask you to go on to Google Earth. See if you can find these two mountains in Mexico, near Mexico City. And you might even see some fields like this in the distance. You might recognize other images from the story. Probably not people, because these people lived a long time ago, according to the legend. but you might see some plants that look familiar from this story or some birds as you look on Google Earth. Thank you for listening.